Welcome to tonight's ceremony to honor transitions. So nice to spend Saturday evening with you. So before we start anything, just take a moment to close your eyes or even just lie flat on your back, bringing one hand to your heart and one to your belly. Taking a couple deep breaths in through the nose and then exhaling through the mouth, softening the body, repeating in your own pace. As you're sitting here, just notice how your belly lifts as you inhale and lowers as you exhale. And just notice how your belly is today, your stomach. And from your belly, scan your whole body. You can scan your body from your belly all the way up through the top of the head. And then as you exhale, you scan the body all the way down to the toes, just noticing how you're feeling in your physical body. Taking a deep inhale through the full body here. And then exhaling, letting it go. Bringing both hands to your chest. How are you feeling emotionally today? Even the last days and weeks? What does your heart need at the moment? Taking a deep inhale into your chest, holding the breath for a moment. And then exhaling, letting it go. As you bring the hands over the eyes or on top of our head. How are you feeling mentally today? What kind of thoughts have been running through your mind the last days and weeks? What has been your mantra? As you inhale through the nose, really notice your breath flowing towards your forehead. And then exhale, release. Release your hands. And then we'll take our hands in a big circle up over the head and really imagining how you call in all the pieces of yourself to arrive here. And as you exhale, you bring the hands in front of your heart. I'm inviting you to set your intention for tonight, or maybe just tuning into what you need right now. What is it that you want to invite in more in life? Once you have your intention, take a deep inhale into your heart and hold your breath. And then exhale and imagine how you're distributing your intention to every single cell in your body. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and just gaze at something on your altar. If there is something, maybe a candle, looking at the candle flame. And then maybe you want to lift your gaze in a ceremony, in a physical space. We would now just like look around and notice everyone in the space. And even though maybe now we are not sharing this physical space, maybe not even watching this video at the same time and joining this ceremony, still we are connected. And I just feel like taking a moment to honor this, that this we are not alone in this. And sometimes it just takes a moment of opening up and being vulnerable. So thank you so much for being here with me tonight for the ceremony to honor transitions. And I feel honoring transitions um, does need a level of slowing down. So we actually realize what we've been moving through, the last days, weeks, months. I mean, it's the almost final day, second last day of this month, and it feels like this month has been really, really long. And thank God, February is short. Um, so taking the ceremony as a celebration, but a subtle one. It's like giving thanks to what was, and also giving thanks to something that, thank God, isn't anymore. Being like, thank you for the lessons and thank you, for the good stuff, but I'm ready, to move forward into something new. And then, like, not bringing that with us, even some baggage. Sometimes we bring things with us because we feel like we haven't learned the lessons yet, because we haven't really sat with the fact what we have learned. So this can be something to journal. What have you been learning the last weeks about yourself, life? What are the beliefs that you kind of accumulated? And these beliefs can be positive, but also can be maybe more negative or just not so serving. It's like, okay, how do I want to move forward now in life? And yeah, we'll be slowing down our nervous system tonight. We'll do a deeply, deeply grounding yin yoga sequence. If you want, you can already start playing the playlist gently in the background, as we'll be sharing our cacao first to the blessing and the meditation, and then we'll move into the yin journey. Um, you can really bring anything in this ceremony that you feel it's kind of heavy on you, on your mind, on your heart. And it's like, maybe even if it's just 5% release, to allow it even for that bit to be released. So we'll be working with the downward moving energy and draw the forward folds. So it's great to like just release the neck and the spine to create space for movement and for something new. So yeah, okay. For the cacao blessing, you can take your cup and your heart. If you don't have cacao, you can have tea, water, whatever it is. It's about setting the intention and putting the vibration into your beverage or the food you eat, that you would like to fill yourselves with. So it's like, what are you inviting into your life? Taking a deep inhale and exhale here. We'll be breathing through the nose, in and out. Noticing how the breath flows through the nose. And then as you exhale, you allow every exhale to become longer and deeper than your inhale. This will naturally calm the mind. You can also count internally to 4. And then as you exhale, count to 6, 7, or 8. We're calling in the spirit of Cacao to support us on this journey of honoring transitions in life, of giving thanks to what was, and opening up to new experiences, new opportunities, and new connections. Maybe move through light from the center of our heart, trusting our intuition and trusting our inner flow, that wisdom that just makes sense, even though we maybe can't rationalize it. Calling in the spirit of Cacao to support us on this journey back to our hearts, back into our bodies, honoring ourselves and honoring what we learned and also what we unlearned. Knowing that everything changes in every single moment. And that with every breath, we can imagine we're, filling our being with the nectar of life, giving thanks to all the hands that have been involved in preparing this cacao for us, in bringing it to us, and all the trees and forests and sun and air and light, giving thanks to the water, as we call in all the magical beings and spirits of the light to support us on this journey. If you feel like you would like to call someone into this ceremony, you can do that now. This might be someone who could really benefit from this, or someone who would uplift the space. Whenever you've finished your internal gratitude prayer, I'm inviting you to set your intention here. A simple sentence serving you as a reminder into day-to-day life. And then repeat it 3 times. You can also sing it, say it loud. There's your home. You can do what feels right. When you're ready, you can start dripping. Letting your exhale take you deeper inwards, allowing the whole body to soften and to expand with the inhale. drinking in your own pace. And when you've finished drinking, you can place your cup in front of you. Maybe you wanna smudge your space if you do have something for smudging. And I'm just imagining internally how your whole home is being cleansed and purified and filled up with nurturing, nourishing, loving energy. And if we're ready, you can place your hands in front of you on the floor. You're imagining how you're inhaling through your hands and through your spine all the way up to the crown of your head, from the center of the earth. And exhaling slowly through the nose, back to the center of the earth. Repeating this 2 more times. Slowly opening the eyes, as we'll be slowly moving into our yin journey. For our yin journey, you don't really need too many props. If you do have yoga blocks or a bolster, pillow, blanket, just have it in front of your mat where you're practicing, so it's going to give you some extra support. And you might want to place a blanket on your mat for extra coziness. So we will make our way onto hands and knees. And from here, we're going to lift our feet up and just circle our ankles into one direction first, and then opposite direction. And really spreading the toes wide, and maybe even shaking the feet gently out, and then placing the feet down. We're just doing a couple gentle cat and cows here, just to move our spine a little bit, preparing it for our grounding flow. So be inhaling, slowly opening the chest here, and then exhaling, rounding the back. Inhale, open your chest, and exhale, round. Doing a few more rounds in your own pace with your breath. And then finding stillness. We'll be lifting our feet, preparing for our toe squat, really taking the toes wide as we place our feet onto the floor, and then walk our hands back. Maybe sitting on the heels, maybe like lifting your hips up and away from your heels. Just make sure that your small toes are touching the floor. If you want, you can also sit on a block or pillow here. It might be extra supportive. Or, yeah, so whatever helps you. And then for one moment, yeah, if you want, close your eyes. And you can just lift your hands and circle your wrists into one direction. And then opposite direction. And then extending the fingers wide and in front of you as if you're pushing a wall away. Taking the hands up towards the sky. And then exhaling them through the heart, back down. Placing your hands on your thighs or on your heart. And really breathing deeply. I know this is an intense shape. Many energy channels go through the toes, either end or start there. So we are opening them up, the flow, our inner flow of life. And the chest to stay open here and expand. The shoulders can be released, the jaw, the face, and the belly. Honoring how big your capacity was to move through intensity the last months. Actually, kind of symbolized in this shape. And take a few more deep breaths here. And gratitude in our hearts for ourselves. And slowly you can release your hands down into the earth in front of you. And we'll be moving into a direct next shape or dangle, standing forward fold. For that, we'll use our hands. We'll come into the fingertips and shift the weight back onto our full feet. And then we're going to lift our hips up and exhale. Let our upper body hang. Here, you might want to grab a block. And we're going to keep our knees micro bent here, shifting the weight slightly forward. You can also grab your opposite elbow. If you have tension in your lower back, you can bring your hands onto your lower back for a moment, maybe even massaging it. And then going down the hips and thighs for a few times. Imagining how you're creating space. And then shaking the fingers out as you find stillness. Releasing your neck, your head, your jaw. Maybe even sticking the tongue out so you can completely relax. With every exhale, your upper body becomes heavier. The art of yin and yang in this shape, knowing when to hold on and when to release. For the final 5 breaths, you can release your arms down. And then when you're complete, bring your fingertips to touch the floor. You might have to bend your knees more. And then we'll walk our feet to the outer edge of the mat, pointing the feet and toes outwards for our squat. Now for our squat, we'll bring our hands first to the heart and center, palms touching each other. And with our elbows, we can gently support the knees as we open up here for our chest and heart, lengthening the spine. Letting your tailbone drop. With the next exhale, you can look over your right shoulder. Deep breaths. And exhale, come back to center. Inhaling. And then exhaling, looking over your left shoulder. Softening the shoulders and shoulder blades. And then finding your way back to center. As you bring your hands down to touch the earth in front of you, chin is slightly tucked in, tuning into your hips and thighs here. With every exhale, you soften. Surrendering. And allowing the body to soften here, noticing where you hold on to tension. Permission to rest. And a few more deep breaths here. And then slowly you can lower down all the way, coming onto your sitting bones, feet in front of you. And maybe you want to give your knees a hug here, letting your head rest on your knees. And just staying here for a couple of breaths. And noticing how you're feeling. And slowly opening your eyes as we'll be moving to our next shape called shoelace. And for this shape, there are two options. So we will extend our legs onto the mat. And if you want, you can have a rolled blanket or shawl uh, close to you, so you can use it for support for your knees. And then just remove the flesh on your sitting bones here. And we'll bend our right leg and take our right foot and bring it to the outer edge of our left knee. And then you can lower the right leg down, or like the right foot down onto the mat as much as you want. You can release your left leg here. If you want, you can take your blanket and place it under your left knee. So this is one option. The second option, full shoelace, this is half shoelace. For full shoelace, you can take your left foot and bring it to your right hip. And then you stay here, centering your hips. Whatever variation you choose, you can slowly come onto your fingertips. Inhale, open the chest here. And then slowly exhale and lower down. And then maybe you want to let your head hang here. Maybe you just want to keep it in one line with the spine. Whatever feels good in your body. Deep hip breaths. You're most likely going to feel this intensely in your hips. Imagining how you're really breathing deep into your belly so it fills up. And then as you exhale, imagine how whatever is heavy is allowed to melt down towards the earth. With every inhale, our spine lengthens. With every exhale, our upper body becomes heavy, nothing forward. Breathing into your glutes. Releasing your jaw, your shoulders, your neck, and your tongue. Five more deep breaths. And you feel ready, very carefully and gently walk your hands back. Your hips are very open now, so just be very careful. Bringing your hands to touch your right thigh and really supporting it. And then extending both legs into the mat here for a moment. Maybe gently massaging your legs and just after some moments finding stillness and noticing what's happening inside of your mind, your body, your emotions. And here we'll be switching slowly to the opposite side. Again, move the flesh on your sitting bones. And then bend your left knee and bring your left foot to the outer edge of your right thigh. Yeah. And taking the same variation you've taken before, either half shoelace or if you're taking full shoelace, bring the right foot to the left hip. And this side might feel completely different. Taking a deep inhale, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, walk your hands forward. Allow your body to open up when it is ready. Softening the thighs, glutes, hips, your belly, whole upper body, neck, your eyes, jaw, tongue, lips. Inhaling, creating space in your spine. As you exhale, you surrender. Trusting that you've done the best you can or could have. With every exhale, the upper body melts towards the earth, gravity taking over. Taking your final 5 breaths here. And when you're complete, very carefully walk your hands back. And with the support of your hands, wrap your legs. Maybe you just want to hug your knees in here for a moment. Maybe you want to extend your legs and massage them. And for a moment, stillness. And tuning in. Allowing ourselves to release the stress that we've stored in our body, the fears. Whenever you feel ready, you can lie flat on your back, having either a firm folded blanket, a block, or a book close to you so that you can grab it easily. As you lie on your back, maybe you want to hug your knees into your chest here. And just move from side to side, massaging your lower back, maybe even making circles. One side and then the opposite side. And placing your feet back onto the floor for our supported bridge shape. We'll be activating our lower back and gently opening the heart through that. It's going to be very grounding for your shoulder blades. And tuning into your lower back, and you might feel some tension there. Allow yourself to release some of this stress. We hold our responsibilities and heaviness not just on our shoulders, but also a lot in our lower backs. So bring your hands first onto your hips here. Taking 3 deep breaths into your belly, really noticing how your hands lift as you inhale. And as you exhale, your tailbone grounds down. And then from here, have a look at your prop, your block or book. Have it a long way next to your hip on the preferably lowest setting unless you're doing this shape a lot and are used to it. And we're bringing our hands to the hips and gently lift our hips up just as far as we need to slide the block under our lower back. And having our hands either on our hips, our lower belly, or next to our body spread out wide, palms facing up. Taking a few deep breaths here with your knees bent. And walking the shoulder blades away so you can ground down. If it feels good in your body, you can extend your legs onto the mat. And breathe into your full body here. Every exhale, Your bones become heavy, moving towards the earth. Allowing ourselves to stay also open. We are centered in our own being. Scanning your body from the toes to the top of the head for your last 5 breaths. And with every exhale, you'll allow your body to soften, to relax deeper towards the earth. And carefully bringing the hands to touch your belly as you slowly bend your knees and walk the feet back. Staying here for a full breath in and out. Or gently lifting the hips and sliding the block away. Really slowly lowering down. Noticing how you're feeling. And then you can hug in your knees into your chest. Really let your whole spine ground into the floor. We'll be moving into a twist from here. So if you can bring a pillow, whatever prop you have, next to your left side, close to the hip. We'll be extending our left leg onto the mat and just hugging our right leg, right knee. You can interlace your fingers and just place them on top of your knee and letting your arms just hang, become heavy. There's no pulling or pushing. And then just breathe into your right thigh and right hip joint. Those are relaxed. The next exhale, guide your knee to the left side. Walking the shoulder blades away from each other, head can stay centered or towards the opposite side. Hands can touch the body or be spread out wide. Deep belly breaths here. Every exhale, you allow your knees and your upper body and head to become heavier. 5 more breaths. And carefully center your head and bring your hands to touch your thigh, guiding your knee back into your chest and letting your left leg follow. And then extend your right leg onto the mat, interlacing your fingers and placing your hands into your left knee for a few breaths. If you do need a prop, you can switch it to the opposite side. And then with the next exhale, allow your knee to ground towards the right side. Walking back our shoulder blades and taking the same variation with your arms and head as before. Deep belly breaths. 5 more deep breaths here. And then slowly bring your hands to touch your thighs, center your head as you bring both knees into your chest. And slowly rolling over to one side in embryo. Just breathing through the heart, in and out here. Remembering your intention and repeating it 3 times internally. And then lifting yourself up in a seated position. You'll be doing a final shake before Shavasana. Maybe you just want to smudge your home at this point a little bit to clear the energy for Shavasana. And I recommend you to already, put on some clothes and have your blanket ready. some socks if you haven't yet. And we even have something to cover your eyes. So our final shape, and from this shape we'll directly move um, into Shavasana. I will be doing a forward fold. And for this forward fold, we'll be extending your legs onto the mat. And you might want to place a pillow or a rolled blanket under your knees. And you could sit onto something, but if you can, keep it as flat as possible so that from here we'll be going straight onto our backs. So this is just super relaxing if you just go straight. Making sure your head lands onto the mat and everything is clear around. So just give you a moment to settle in. Okay, so removing the flash of your sitting boat so you can ground down. And if your legs are very tight, you might want to bend your knees here gently and just come onto your heels. Just can create some more space in our lower back. And then from here, we'll be inhaling, opening our heart, and slowly walking our hands forward, exhaling. You can choose if you want to let your head hang and roll forward with your spine, or if you want to keep your spine straight and neck in one line with the spine. Wherever you are, take a few deep breaths to just arrive, bringing awareness to where you feel the most sensations. And then letting your body open up in its own pace. Allowing your exhales to become deeper and longer here. Gravity taking over so that your upper body becomes heavy, melting towards your thighs, releasing the tension in the neck, the jaw, the tongue. Anytime you need, you can also exhale through your mouth as a sign of letting go. You can also turn your palms up towards the sky as a sign of surrender. Maybe even sigh as you exhale. Releasing that heavy weight on the shoulders, heavy thoughts in the mind. Imagining a waterfall above your head, clearing your physical body, your mind, emotion, energy. I soften and I surrender and melt into the experience. Allow yourself to fully empty. You can 5 more deep breaths here. Very carefully sliding your hands back, making your way into Shavasana. As little movement as possible, lying flat on the back, letting your feet fall out to the sides. Your palms are facing up towards the sky so you can receive. Taking a full breath through the whole body and then slowly exhale through the nose. Allow the bones to become heavy. One more time. Using the control of the breath, knowing that you've created a safe space for yourself to just surrender, recharge, nurture, and have a moment of internally honoring what was and integrating your experiences. Allow your eyes to sink deeper into your eye sockets. Releasing your jaw, your shoulders, hips, hands, legs, your feet. Your whole body sinks towards the earth. Slowly start deepening your breath from the toes to the top of the head, from the head to the toes. Every cell being filled up with new energy, aliveness, and nourishment. And remember your intention here and repeat it 3 times internally. And start moving your toes, your fingers, and the head from side to side. And bringing the arms over the head for a nice stretch. And then bending your knees and hugging them into your chest for the last time. Really giving thanks here to yourself. Giving thanks to your inner and outer support system. Gratitude for life. Roll over to one side. Connecting to your heart here. And noticing the breath flowing in and out your chest and the back of your head. And when you're ready, you can rise in a seated position for a final meditation. Spine is long, shoulders relaxed. The palms can face up or down on your knees, whatever feels better in your system. You can bring your index finger and thumb to touch. Just noticing the breath flowing through your nostrils in and out. Bring your hands to your heart space. Gently bow the head towards your fingertips. Maybe you want to widen your fingers here, widen them from each other. Imagining it's a star shining bright. Taking a deep inhale into your chest here. And from your chest through your fingers, send out into the world nourishment, peace, love, and understanding to every single person that needs it. Thank you so much for practicing with me tonight. Please take your time. Have one water, tea, maybe even a hot bath. And if you want, you can write things down, and you can also just go straight to bed. This is a very grounding practice. And it's going to be available for you for another 3 days, so you can come back to really relax your nervous system. If you have any questions or if you want to share anything, feel free to email me or write in the chat. Yeah, just thank you so much for being here. Oh, and smudge your place if you can, or diffuse some nice essential oils. Anything that calms your nervous system through scent and ritual. Bye. Good night.